Ready?
Happy Monday, everyone. Week 11 is approaching. We have one last game for this Week 10 slate. Denver Broncos Bills. Obviously, it's Gambling with Gold Monday. We'll get to all the action Week 11, what we like already, and Monday Night Football picks. What's up with you, Jason?
Great weekend. I was in Eugene watching the Oregon Ducks kick the shit out of my wife's UFC Trojans. So that was a good weekend. Gambling yesterday, exciting games. Not so much on the gambling side, but we're ready to get back at it Week 11. Let's get some W's on the board.
Yeah, I love it. All right, let's get right into this Monday Night Football game. We have the Denver Broncos heading to the Bills. Bills are -7.5, maybe -7. Not sure that move. Before I jumped on here, Broncos off a win versus Chiefs. Bills off a loss versus Bengals. What's your initial read on this game? Total sitting at 47.5.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised to see this number jump up to 7.5 in some places. A lot of sharp action coming in on the Denver Broncos in this game when it was 7.5 earlier in the week, dropped down to 7. I still think it's going to be a tight game. My prediction for the game is Buffalo 24 and the Denver Broncos 17, so right on that 7 number. I like using Buffalo as a teaser piece, -1, -1.5, depending on where you can get it. Pair it with some team in week number 11. I think that should be good. I think the Bills will get it done here at home, but I wouldn't be surprised to see a tight competitive game. And as always, primetime unders until they miss. So let's rock that one in. Under 47, like that one a lot.
Yeah, I think that, Broncos defense hasn't exactly been good. We also, we saw them up 70 to Miami, but they've improved a little bit since then. Only allowing 45 points in their last 3 games. You're on the under, also on the under here. The Bills got to pull it together at some point, right?
The Bills are interesting because I still think that this offense has a lot of room to grow, and they got a lot of guys. And the emergence of Dalton Kincaid, I think, is going to really open up the offense a lot here coming down the stretch. But Denver's defense has played really well. Like, let's be honest about it. The way that they played against Kansas City in both games, super impressive. They had a bye week to get things right, get healthy. I think they'll be productive on the defensive side of the ball, but it's still Russ on the other side. I know Buffalo's lost a bunch of players on their defense, which is why they're not performing as we expected. But this is Buffalo. This is Monday night. Those guys are going to be rocking. And you just can't trust this Denver offense too much. I know that the underlying stats for Russ are actually pretty decent on the season, but I can't go there tonight. I'm cool if you want to bet Denver plus 7.5 tonight. I think it's a fine bet. Definitely the sharper side. But I can't imagine them putting up more than, 21 points in this game. I would be pretty surprised by that.
Yeah, I think I'm with you on that. What props are you looking at? I don't know what the fuck is going on with my camera or my internet, guys. I promise at some point this week it's going to get figured out. I got a new internet service, so we'll get the video situation together. But what props are you looking at?
All right, so I just talked about Dalton Kincaid. Sorry, getting the tight ends mixed up here. Dalton Kincaid over 51.5 receiving yards. I bet that one earlier in the week. I just think he's going to keep getting fed until the defenses adjust to him. And I think, honestly, defenses would rather have the ball go to the middle of the field with Kincaid than on the outside to Diggs. Hopefully, for the Bills side, the throws to Kincaid opening up the middle of the field will actually lead to more Stephon Diggs production. And then on the other side of the ball, let's go with Samaje Perine over 12.5 receiving yards. I think he'll be involved in this game. A little bit of pressure on Russ, dump it off to Perine. I think he gets that on about 3 catches, let's say 3 for 15 tonight.
I like it. I am also on Kincaid. I like his over 5.5 receptions plus 120. I think his involvement has obviously been there. He's gone over this 2 times last 3 games. I like the plus money there on that. And I'm also playing his receiving yards. McLaughlin, his role is definitely decreasing, but the plus 160 on him to go get 2 catches, I very much like that. I'm just a down area. I also wouldn't be mad if people played the over 23.5 rushing and receiving, because that number seems a little bit low considering you're also getting his rushing work in there, even if he only gets 6 receiving yards. Here's what I'm stuck on here is Gabe Davis loves to do this where he just disappears and comes back. And Khalil Shakir, though, has been very involved since Knox injured. But I'm torn between who I want to play tonight. Denver struggles against wide receiver 2s and 3s, bottom of the league defending both. Do you have a lean on either of those receivers?
Yeah, seems like a perfect Gabe Davis game. I probably wouldn't play wouldn't play his receptions or yards. Usually when he gets involved, he's getting in the end zone. So if you want to play that angle, give him anytime touchdown. I'd play that with Gabe Davis tonight. Not my favorite of the touchdowns tonight. I actually have 2. We'll go with Kincaid again, force feed him the rock, and then Cortland Sutton, I think, finds the end zone for the Denver Broncos tonight.
Yep, I'm with you on Portland. And not bad if you take the over half an interception on either of these guys. Russell's been pretty good. He hasn't thrown that many this year, but that makes me kind of like it a little bit more. We know how Josh Allen is. He does love to throw them. As far as Khalil Shakir, I did decide to take his alt line up to 40 plus because I think if he is involved, he's going to kind of fly over that number. So took it there. Let's get right into Week 11. I'm going to be honest, I don't love this slate. It's not my favorite of that we've approached this season.
Yeah, I feel like we say that a lot on Mondays, and then by the time Thursday, Friday happens around, I have 18 million bets, and I don't even know exactly where I'm supposed to go. So my first one on the board for week number 11 is going to be Pittsburgh Steelers +4 at the Cleveland Browns. Divisional. I learned this last week because I liked Cleveland early in the week. I gave that out on the show, and then I had a change of heart, and then I went the Ravens, and then I went the Browns again. So I was all over the place. Divisional in the AFC North is always a field goal game. Let's just remember that and bet it going forward. If I'm getting a number over 3, I'm probably taking it. So they might not score any points against this Cleveland Browns defense, but maybe we get a 10-7 type game and they cover. Good time to fade the Browns after that huge win, hugely emotional win coming back against the Baltimore Ravens in Baltimore. Deshaun, he played his best half of the season, maybe his best half since he was a Houston Texan. But he did come out of the game with an ankle injury that is worth monitoring all week. Meanwhile, the Pittsburgh Steelers continue to get outgained, continue to get W's. Mike Tomlin does Mike Tomlin things. And when Mike Tomlin's a dog, especially in division, we're going to bet it. So give me the +4 on the Steelers is my first pick of the week.
Yeah, and I think that the Steelers, every week they want to bet against them, and you just simply can't. They're figuring it out. Their defense is championship level. So, yeah, their offense may not be great, but they're still getting it done. I love Tomlin. That was going to be one of mine. But I'm just going to build a 7 against the Jets. Week 1, disappointing loss. I'm sorry, but Zach Wilson sucks. Like, he is ass. And the New York Jets I find painful to watch. Their defense is great, but I think that the Bills, come back with a vengeance, and I think that they can easily win here by a touchdown.
The funny part about the game last night was Zach Wilson. Between the 20s, he was like actually okay last night, and then when he gets his mental block when he gets down to the 20s, like I don't know what to do with the ball anymore. I suck. So yeah, I get that angle. I like it. We've talked about this a couple times on the show this season. If you like a team on Monday Night Football to get a W, you might want to bet that line the week ahead before it jumps up. So if we think the Bills are going to win, that line's probably going to end up closer to 7.5, 8 by the time we get to kick off next week. So I don't hate the angle there on the Buffalo Bills.
All right, what's your next side that you got here?
All right, we're going to go to the game of the week. We're going to go with the Philadelphia Eagles. There's a +3 out there at one shot, but +2.5, I would still bet this out. I'll give +2.5 here. I think the Eagles are going to win this game. I think that the more complete team, and despite the fact that Mahomes under a 3-point, we've talked about this. If he's under 3 points, you have to bet him. Mm-hmm. This is the spot that I'm going to fade that narrative, even off of a bye week. I think this is a get-right spot and a Super Bowl revenge for the Philadelphia Eagles. I think they're a more complete team. I think they have the better defense in this game. And I think that the offense is going to get rolling enough that they're going to be able to outscore them. I do like the under in that game, too, a lot, 46.5, 47 if you can get it. I think it'll be a low-scoring game. Give me 24-21, Eagles get it done in Kansas City.
I like it. And also, Travis Kelce has been gallivanting across Argentina for the last week. So I like the angle there. I think the Eagles do get it done as well. I have a really gross one, and I can't believe I'm saying this. And it has nothing to do with my faith in this team. It has to do with the team that they're playing, and it's a divisional game. I like the Giants +10. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it just because of the way that they play them. Commanders also have a horrible record at home. They have yet to cover at FedEx. Commanders only had 7 points versus the Giants in that matchup we saw a few weeks ago. I don't think DeVito is a good quarterback. I don't think the Giants are a team, but for some reason, another one of those situations, kind of have the Commanders number, and that's a big spread here for a divisional matchup.
Yeah, I like the +10 on the Giants as well. DeVito get a little home cooking, get some chicken cutlets in him before the game. I think it'll be fine. It's because I don't know how much the Commanders are going to score in this game. The Giants defense is playing really, really well when they faced them the first time. It has become a little bit leakier, although the Cowboys are a terrible matchup. Let's see what happens in that one. But the +10, you got a better read on the Giants than I do. I'll rock with it. I'll bet it.
Yeah. And leave it to the Giants to somehow fuck this up too. Like, they're tanking, and I get it, but I also don't have faith in them to tank properly because they are the type of team that kind of screw themselves out of a top 2 pick. Wouldn't shock me at all. The meltdown to be out of control by Giants. The last one I want to sneak in there is I think Dallas -11 is still a good bet. And this is, Dallas, aside from the Cardinals, they've continued to feast against these bad teams. The Panthers are a bad team. I think this moved. It did open up. Was it 10.5 maybe? I know it's sitting at 11 now. The Panthers are pretty broken here. Their O-line stinks. Their skill positions stink. Bryce Young is obviously more capable than a DeVito. Carolina's off a mini bye. Some people are looking at maybe Cowboys. It's a look ahead to the holiday game against the Commanders. I just think this comes down to a better team, and there's no reason why Dallas can't walk in there and win by at least 11.
Yeah, I had a different read on this game. I have a different read on this game. I haven't bet it yet, but I am staring at that +11 for Carolina because of the reason that you said. They got to look ahead to their Thanksgiving game. This is a great time, in theory, in gambling theory. It's a great time to fade the Cowboys off of this monster win. Dak has played out of his ass for the last 4 weeks. He's been absolutely fabulous, playing like an MVP. And so, I don't know. It's a tough time to bet on the Cowboys. But then I think about the Cowboys defensive line just eating Bryce Young alive, and I see your angle, which is scaring me off, which is why I haven't bet it yet. Like, the thought of Micah Parsons coming after tiny little pipsqueak Bryce Young is real scary if you're going to bet that +11, let me tell you right now.
Yeah, I haven't bet it yet, but I'm not going to sit here and act like I didn't consider it the second I saw it. All right, give me a total that you were eyeing.
I wanted to mention one other bet really, really quickly.
Okay, do it. Yes, please do. Time.
Sorry. So, Seattle Seahawks -2.5 at the Rams right now. I would grab that Seattle -2.5 because if Matthew Stafford's out of this game, it's Carson Wentz with the Rams for 2 weeks, and you get 2.5. Now, I think Seattle's kind of fraudulent at this point. Geno has still not really played very well. I know his stats from the Washington game was good. He doesn't look right. That offense isn't really cooking the right way. And that defense, still young, still ascending, but don't really love it. But if Stafford's out, that is such a line value right there. So I would grab it now. And if Stafford is playing, I'll buy out of my position, and I'll be on the Rams in that game. But just in case, grab Seattle -2.5 right now.
Yeah, I eyed that out too. Another game that I was eyeing out, and I wanted to get your read on actually is, what about the Vikings at Denver +1.5? I just want to hear your take on it here. Because what if Denver ends up sneaking out a win tonight?
Yeah, but I don't think that's going to happen, so I'm not going to bet it yet. But I love Dobbs. I think he's great for that team. I think O'Connell's coach. We talked about this last week. He was like +2,500. Now he's +1,000, +750 to be coach of the year. He's coaching his ass off right now. And their defense is turning into a real decent unit. So I'd be a little scared of that. I probably lean a little bit towards Minnesota right now, but also at the same time, it's probably a decent time to fade Josh Dobbs in the Minnesota trade. Yeah. So no bet for me right now.
Yeah, because they can't keep up with it, right? All right, give me a total that you like.
All right, so I already gave out Philadelphia, Kansas City under 46.5. A lot of that has to do with weather in that game. Kansas City is expected to get dumped on this week. San Francisco, Tampa Bay, under 41.5 points. I don't think there's a whole lot of ways for Tampa Bay to be able to score in this game. I expect San Francisco to call off the Dogs a little bit. I see that game being like 28-10 49ers. So give me the under 41.5 in that one.
Yeah, I like that one as well. I have that one listed. Baltimore at Cincy. I like the under 46. This has gone up from 43.5. I think both these teams, they're just coming off really shitty defensive performances here, giving up 373 yards and 540, 545, somewhere around there. I think I'm looking at both defenses to kind of bounce back here. Divisional matchup. I like this to go under.
One, you're betting a primetime under, so that's usually good. But a really, really sharp group sent out the over 44 this morning. They must have laid 7, or probably not able to get down 7 figures, but they laid as much as they could early in the week on this number, which is why it jumped up to 46. So be a little careful, but it did jump through the 45, so probably a decent spot to buy back on the under 46 there. And primetime under trend, so you're good there. The other one that I liked, Pittsburgh, Cleveland, under 37.5. Like I said, I could see this totally being a 10-7 game. Wouldn't be surprised if this under hits by a lot.
Yeah, I like that one as well. Over I looked at is Arizona at Houston. I think this ends up being a pretty close game. Houston's been better at home. You got Kyler back. CJ Stroud is playing like an absolute badass. Makes me a little bit nervous because it feels like a letdown spot for the Texans, but I'm going to ride with it here. Texans' last 2 games went over. Arizona's like 6-4 on the over this season. And, I don't think Arizona's defense is good enough to kind of slow down the stride that Stroud's on. So I like this game to go over.
I like it to be over too. I think there'll be a lot of points, a lot of turnovers in that game. That'll probably be good for the over as well.
Yeah. Any last bets that you like that you're looking at for week 11?
For week 11, Miami, Vegas over 47.5. You can get it. I saw some 48s in some spots. This feels like a Miami off of a bye. Just they've been destroying teams at home. As long as the weather's good, I expect them to be able to put up 35 in this game. So I'll take the over there. And then, some futures bets. I got a couple more that I was looking at, and one of them we just talked about. How is Dak plus 4,000 for MVP right now after the last 4 weeks he's had?
Listen, I'm not giving like Dallas fans any type of like ammunition, but I do see where I think Vegas isn't respecting them. Yeah. I think some of it is for a good reason, but I agree with you. That's a wild number because he is playing very well right now.
He's below like some guys that have no shot of winning this award. Plus 4,000 seems like at least a little pizza bet on plus 4,000. Super easy. And then I think the good one to buy after the game they had last week, if they really go on a run, but Burrow at plus 900. He has got a good narrative with the injury coming back midseason. If they're able to win that division, I think that he's going to be in consideration. So plus 900 is something that I'm monitoring, not betting yet, but looking at pretty closely. You can probably wait until after the Ravens game on that because if they lose, don't want to bet that at all. And then defensive player of the year, Myles Garrett plus 150. I feel like he's locking up the award week after week. So as long as he stays healthy, I expect him to win the award. Maybe worth a little dabble in that market right now.
Yeah, I was eyeing that out. There's 2 things I want to ask you about.
Yep.
Can the Texans win the division?
Absolutely.
I think that is very much in play. It's probably been in play for a little bit here, but I think CJ Stroud, this isn't just some type of luck. I think that this team is actually operating very, very well. The one thing I'm buying in, though, I would be very surprised if CJ Stroud wins MVP, and I see a lot of touting that on Twitter today to place that bet.
Yeah, I saw it was like plus 2,500. I don't see that happening, but I wouldn't be surprised to see him have a top 5 or top 6 finish. He's playing lights out. So He's certainly deserving of the praise. He's certainly deserving of being in the conversation at this point. But let's pump the brakes a little bit on that. They would have to basically go 7-1 on the way out, 6-2 for him to even be in the conversation. But like I said last week, I bet the minus 500 for him rookie of the year. It's up to 1,600. You can keep betting it because he's not losing that one.
Yeah, there's no way. I think D'Amico winning coach of the year is a safer bet than betting Stroud MVP. Is that fair?
Yeah, he's plus 300. I think he's the second best odds right now. He's certainly going to be in the conversation. If they win that division, he's going to be up there, and he's doing a great job. Right
now, who do you see as the matchup in the Super Bowl?
Oh, shit. That's hard.
I spent a lot of time thinking about it this morning, and I'm stressed about it a little bit.
So I think that the best team when everyone's healthy in the NFC is the 49ers, but they need all 4 of those guys. They need CMC, Trent, Debo, and Purdy, and probably Kittle too, to be healthy. The odds of that happening, I think, are very slim. And when one of them's out, the puzzle pieces just don't work right. So I don't want to take them. I said I think that the Eagles are the most complete team in the NFL. I think that they'll make the Super Bowl. So give me the Eagles on the NFC side. The AFC is just what a fucking crapshoot it is.
Yeah.
I guess I could play it safe and say Mahomes and just take the Chiefs, but I don't think that offense has enough this year to get that done. Oh, I'm going to hate doing this, but yeah, give me Baltimore. I know that they just came off this loss. I don't trust Lamar at all. I thought his performance yesterday with that lead was unfathomable. And they keep losing these games. They have 90% win chance, which is a little disconcerting, but they're a really complete team. They're really good. And I think that I'll take the Ravens. So Ravens, Eagles, Super Bowl would be my pick right now.
It's pretty funny to look at the difference between the playoff picture in the AFC and the NFC, because the NFC is actually a joke. It's bad.
Oh my God. The AFC is, there's good teams that are 4 and 5 that have basically no shot of making the playoffs. That would be a 4 or 5 seed in the NFC that can legitimately go to the Super Bowl. So.
Yeah. It's absolutely out of control. All right. Any last thoughts before we get out of here? I know it's a quick show today, but my internet is being a piece of shit, so we're not going to drag it out too much longer.
No, I think that's all I got. Let's win some bets this week.
I know. I'm ready. I had a good week last week. The quad D's hit, so if you tailed that, congratulations. You're welcome. And yeah, let's head out of here. See you guys on Monday.
See you.
Watch him make it, break it, break it, break it.